Hi, Mrs McTaggart here, and in this video we're looking at the National 5 applications of maths topic called precedence tables. Now, pupils generally really like these because it is something quite simple to do for the initial part. The part B is a wee tricky bit. So let's just have a look at what they are. It's pretty difficult for me to get all of this on one screen because there's an awful lot going on. So I've got an example here. Sharon and her assistant are furniture makers. They are going to make a wooden frame settee with cloth covered foam cushions. Each task must be done by one person, but some can be done at the same time and in a particular order. Okay, so I'm going to move this up and give myself a wee bit more space. Okay, now we've got this table here, and what we have to do is they give you this little template of a network, and you have got to put all the tasks from above into this table. Now, it doesn't automatically go A, B, C, D, E, F along the way, but sometimes it kind of does. But let's look at what we've got. See, what you do is all this column here at the side tells you all the preceding tasks. So precedence means that they're the tasks that should precede it. So, for example, the making the wooden arms and legs, that's got to be done after B and C. Sometimes in this one, it doesn't say after, but it will tell you what the preceding tasks are. And the preceding task in that case would have been maybe like something else. So let's have a look. So what you look for is you look for the very first thing, something that has got no precedence at all. So this would be task C. So task C I'm going to circle, and we're going to put this in the first box. And then you also write in how long that takes. You put in 2 for 2 days. Then you look for things that follow task C. So that is this one here. So B will follow C. So you put a B in here and you put a 1 for 1 day. Now then you'll notice there's 2 tasks that follow B. You have got this one here. Task A follows B and C. And then you have task D, which follows B and D. So the one that follows B and C will be task A. And then there's nothing else that follows task A. So A goes in here. That's the kind of end of that little journey or that little task. And A takes 3 days. Right, so then we come and look at the other one. So the one that came after B and D. Oh, there's a wee typo there. I think that should have been after B and C. So a little typo, sorry about that. So it comes after B and C would be task D. But because that's got other things following it, that's how I know D went on the bottom bit of the table. So D takes 1 day. And then the thing that follows D would be task E for 2 days. And then follows E would be F for 1 day. And then put everything together is G, which follows all. And technically, probably G would have a little line coming to it from here as well. That's kind of missing from the diagram. And I forgot to put in the 1 there for the G. So that's you done what I think is sometimes a simpler bit, the precedence table. Please remember you must have the letters in the correct order in the correct boxes, and you're going to put the numbers in for the length of time underneath. You need that for the next bit of the question. So here is the next bit of the question. It asks us to calculate the minimum number of days that are required to make the settee. So the minimum number of days is the tricky bit. You have to look at the table. Now you don't just simply add up all these other tasks. What happens is, see that you've got a bit at the top of the diagram, you've got a bit at the bottom of the diagram. These are going on concurrently. Remember, there was 2 people in this question, okay? There was 2 people making up the task. So what's happening is one person is doing part A that takes 3 days, and the other person is doing D, E, and F, which takes 4 days. So when you're adding them up, you have to add up the longest times when there's concurrent things going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to circle the ones we're going to add up. So task C took 2 days, task B took 1 day. Then you've got the option, do you add up these 3 or do you add that one? Now at a quick glance, what you do is you've got the option, you take the one that takes the longest. So A is 3, but D, E and F combined is 4. So we're going to take D, E and F. If A had been maybe 5, I would have circled the 5. And then G, that's got the 1 missing in there for the G, I would circle the G. So the length of time taken to build this settee was 2 plus 1 plus, now I'm going to take the 1, 2 and 1 together. And I'm going to take the other one. And when you add them all up, you have got 2, 4, 6, you have got 8 days. Okay, so remember you're not adding in that A because that A job is getting done while the other girl's doing the D, E and F job. So that doesn't actually add on to the full length of the time. Alright, so when you've got two like rows of things going on, like you have here top and bottom, that's happening at the same time. And you always choose the longest length of time for it. Right, part C on this one, it says the cost of materials is £350 and the cost of labour is £65 per day. They wish to sell the settee with a markup of 40%. What price should they sell the settee for? So let's work out what the cost of labour is first of all. So it's £65 per day, so times 8. I'm doing it without a calculator just because I think this might be an on-calculator question. So 8 5s are 40, 8 6s are 48, so 520. So the cost to do the whole settee is 350 materials plus 520 for labour, which is going to cost them £870 to make. So that is the cost to make the settee. They want to sell it for a markup of 40%, so we need to find 40% and add it on. Now, if I did have a calculator, I could simply just do 1.4 times 870. But without a calculator, I'm going to do 10% would be 87. 40% would be to times that by 4. So that would be 320 plus 28. So 348 markup. So they need to sell it for 870 plus £348, which is 8. And then 2. So they need to charge £1,218 per settee. Now there isn't always an extra bit to this question. Quite often it's just find the maximum, or the minimum length of time it will require to make the settee. Right, let's look at another one. Okay, my second example, we've got two friends, Michael and Ian. They're going to redecorate Michael's bedroom and put in some assembly furniture. So this one, we've got all the tasks A through to G. This bit about mentioning 2 people required. Don't stress too much about that. That is just the bits where it's the single boxes, like here, here and here. That will take the 2 people to do it. So let's have a start. So one that requires no preceding tasks is task A. So task A will go in here, taking 2 hours. I'm just going to move this up slightly, give myself a bit more space. Following on from task A, you've got the options of B and C, so we're going to put B and C in here. B is 2 hours and C is, watch my spelling mistake there, apologies for that. The word assemble, it hasn't been spelled right. So C would take 3 hours. Then you're looking for things that follow tasks B and C. Now there isn't strictly one that follows B and C, but there is one that follows A and B. So I think there probably should be a C written in there. And that would be task E, which takes 4 hours. Then you're looking things that follow any of them, and you've got D and F there that follow A, B and E. So I think I'm going to put D and F there. Don't forget to put your numbers in. D was 2 hours and F was 1 hour. And then the final one that follows absolutely everything was task G, which took 1 hour. Okay. So then I'm just going to do the second bit of the question, which asks you calculate how long it would take Michael and Ian to complete the project. So I'm going to circle all the bits we're going to add again. So we're going to take the 2 hours for part task A. Remember when B and C are going on together, you take the longest one. So I'm going to take the 3 hours. I'll take the 4 hours for task E. With D and F, you take the longest one. And then you take the G in the end. So the reason we take the longest one is, remember, these jobs are going on concurrently. So maybe like Ian would have some downtime while Michael does task C and stuff like that. And then in total, that gives us 5, 9, that takes 12 hours. So the answer would be 12 hours to complete the task. And there might be like a different wording bit to it, saying something along like, Michael and Ian reckon they can do the job in 10 hours. Are they right? Justify your answer. And if it said something like that, I'd say no, because it would take 12 hours. 10 hours is not enough. Or 2 hours too short. So I hope you've followed that okay. They're generally not too bad, but it is this second part, working out the length of time taken, that pupils forget, particularly if you haven't done them for a while. So remember, you take the longest route possible, because to plan any job, you've got to plan for like things happening or not going wrong. So you have to plan the maximum time. If you can do it in shorter, bonus, but add up the longest options, okay? So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.